Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shelby. I have my January books I read video. I read 7 books in the month of January, which is astronomical for me. Yeah, so I have all of those books here, and then I also have my Goodreads up to kind of spark my memory on things, because sometimes you read books and then you forget what you read. And also, like, I read 3 Taylor Jenkins Reid books this month, so I kind of need like a refresher of which ones I actually read, because that was my goal. One of my goals was to finish all of Taylor Jenkins Reid's books, and I have done that. I worked on that in December and now January, so I'm pretty excited about that. I love her writing. She's my favorite by far. So first I have, also I started tabbing this month, so yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. But first I have After I Do, and this one I read December 29th to January 7th. This was a 4-star. After I Do, this book was where it's about Lauren and Ryan, and they are married, obviously, and they, after I believe a few years of marriage, I don't remember how long it was, but after a few years of marriage they decided to take a year off, where essentially they have no communication for the whole year, which was interesting. No communication for the whole year, and then after that year they were supposed to come back together and talk and figure out if they wanted to stay married. And yeah, it was fascinating. Lauren did not tell her family for quite a while, and then people started figuring things out. She told her sister, I believe, first, and I really liked her siblings, Rachel and Charlie, and I liked Charlie and his significant other, Natalie, and yeah, I just think that it was an interesting storyline, and I thought it was unique. And yeah, I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it was very good. I liked the ending, so there's that. I'm trying not to give spoilers this video, but if I do, oh well. Next I have Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read this January 7th through January 12th. This is also, her books are fascinating. This got a 5-star. So this book is about Hannah, and she basically has spent like her life kind of like going from city to city to city, and finally she decides to settle down in her hometown, and she moves in with her friend Gabby, and Gabby takes her out to the bar, and her high school boyfriend Ethan is there, and towards the end of the night she has to make a decision whether she wants to stay at the bar with Ethan or go home with Gabby and Gabby's husband. And yeah, it's dual chaptered, so it's like every other chapter is each decision, and I really like that because you see a lot of similarities amongst the stories, but also like at the very beginning of each story you see very different things happen, like very different things happen. And so it's just interesting to see like the outcomes of each choice, and it really makes you think about like how your choices really do matter, and like we're not just here on earth floating around like living our lives, like you have choice for a reason. And yeah, I just really liked that it had both of the 2 different choices storylines, and one of the choices I liked better, and I'm not gonna go into that. I did like both choices and I liked the ending of both, but I preferred one over the other. I guess I'll just say I preferred the one where she went with Gabby. And then I'll just go over the next Taylor Jenkins Reid book. This is Forever Interrupted, and I gave this a 4-star, and I read it January 15th through January 17th. So this story is about Elsie and her husband Ben, who she had met very quickly, fallen in love, got married very quickly. They were only married before he died, I think for 8 days. it's either 8 or 15, somewhere in there. They were not married long. And then he died. So some circumstances, she ends up at the hospital. His mom also ends up at the hospital. And they don't know each other. They've not met each other yet because her and Ben did not date that long prior. And he had not even told his mom about her. And yeah, this book was very good. There was a lot of emotion put into this book and a lot of, like, family connections. And, like, her family sucks. His family, his mom was not great at the beginning, but she grew on you. Dad had died, so it's a widow helping a widow, essentially, eventually. Trying not to give it away. But I really liked her friend that tried to stand by her side. But her friend ended up needing to, like, hey, I am out of my league trying to help you, like, here, let Ben's mom help you. And yeah, that was fascinating. And then at the end, she ended up helping someone through a similar but not so similar situation. Yeah, I really liked this book. I would reread this one for sure. And then A Man Called Ove. This book was heart-wrenching. I read this January 12th through January 14th. I gave this a 5-star. I read this book, essentially I picked it up. Look at all the tabs I went through in this book. I picked this book up so I could watch the movie without watching the movie first and then being mad that I watched the movie first. But yeah, I read this. I cried a lot. There's probably tear stains towards the end of this book. I love Ove. He is just a grumpy old man, and Tom Hanks in the movie played him so well. It just, like, I love the flashbacks of, like, his early life, and it just explains why he is the way he is, and his, like, forced proximity, his new family that, like, kind of has chosen him, his connections with, like, the people down the road, and just, like, all the people on the street that he has, like, these little familial connections with. And, like, it just, I don't know, there's so much. This book is so well done. Like, this, I would reread this, 100% reread it. The movie was so good. It Americanizes the story, which is fine, but it Americanized it in a good way. Took, like, culturally normal things in America and added them, and, like, modernized it. I don't know when the setting of this book is, probably not that long ago, because he talks about iPads, but yeah, I really liked this. I really liked the movie. Like, I would suggest both. I would very much suggest reading the book first, though. But yeah, I really liked this, so read it. It's an easy read. It's a very heartfelt, feely read. The next book, I am not going to go super into detail. Also, you'll notice there's no tabs. I listened to this on audiobook, and there's 2 more after it in the series. So I will, after I finish those, I will do a whole video on them. I kind of like the idea of doing that for a book series that I read, like big book series. This book is hefty, guys, but it was very good. I did give this a 3-star because I was coming off the high of reading the ACOTAR series when I started reading this. Like, I finished that series because I listened to audio. I listened to it, and then the day after I started this. And I think I probably should have, like, separated. But yeah, I gave it a 3-star. I'm not going to go into detail, but it is good. I am enjoying the second one a little bit more because I've already started that one. Let me see how long it took me to audio this. So December 30th to January 23rd. So it took me like 3.5 weeks-ish. I don't know, math. Yeah. I will probably not reread this, but it was interesting. And I will be finishing the series. So yeah. Then I have A Season of Second Chances by Jenny Bayless. This is about Annie Sharp, who finds out her husband is cheating on her. She moves to Willow Bay. She becomes like an essential person in the community. Like, she ends up being a boss woman, and I really, really like Annie. I like her relationship that forms. I don't want to give anything away, but I read this January 17th through January 25th, and I gave this a 4-star. Yeah, I will say one thing. I really liked the way the community took care of Alfred. He is like an older gentleman that chooses to live homeless because he thinks he doesn't deserve a home, which is really, really sad. But the whole community takes care of him, and I think that's phenomenal. And yeah, I really like Alfred. I like his heart towards the community. I like the community's heart. Like, Willow Bay, it sounds like a dream to live in. I like it kind of reminded me of like the celebrations were kind of like Stars Hollow-esque, because they know how to party. Like, they know how to celebrate. Yeah, I really liked this. It was a nice cozy winter read, which is exactly what it says on the cover. And yeah, I liked it. People said that it was like a Christmassy read. There was winter portions in it, but it also, like, there was Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and so like I was not exclusively a Christmas read. You could read this in fall and winter. I probably would not, this would probably not be like a summer read, but I mean, you do you if you want to read it in the summer. And my last book for January was, this is the third book in the installment. It's the final one. It is A Guide to Being Just Friends, and the first one is 10 Rules for Faking It, and the second one is How to Love Your Neighbor. And I read both of those last year. This one is the newest. It came out, I believe, in January. I pre-ordered it. Did I get it in January or did I get it in December? One of the two. But it's new. It's by Sophie Sullivan. I gave it a 5-star. I read it January 26th to January 31st. I give it a 5-star. Each book is about a different brother. They're the Jensen brothers, and they all originated in New York, and like their family is rich, but they are trying to make a name for themselves. And so one by one, the brothers have slowly moved out to California. And each of the books has been about like their love life, essentially, and like them finding love. Really, the Jensen brothers, it's what the series, like the trio, was called, but I feel like each book is more about like the significant other, which I have no problem with. One of the significant others is Everly, one is Grace, I think, and then this one is Haley. Yeah, I think these books were great. I enjoyed all 3 of them. This one might be my favorite just because you get to see the characters from the other 2 in this one. And epilogue made me cry, like big time baller. Like, I was bawling my eyes out. I think it's just because I'm emotional, but there's nothing wrong with that. But I did really thoroughly enjoy this book. I would suggest it if you like romancy books. I'm trying to remember if this is like closed door or open door. I don't remember. I don't think there was like sex scenes. There was alluding to them, I believe, but I don't really remember. So there's that. Yeah, I really enjoyed this and probably would potentially read this series again because I really like them. Yeah, that's it for my books that I read in January. I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.